Yo, it's your boy Bob, and I'm back at it again with another tutorial, and this time it's a special one. We got 2 for 1. It's the 360 dive Kong and the 360 dive roll. I teach them really similarly, so I figured I might as well just do a 2 for 1. If you don't know what these tricks are, this is a 360 dive Kong, and this is a 360 dive roll. It's pretty much the same exact motion, except for instead of Konging, you just roll on the ground. All right, moving on to step number 1. It is step number 1 and 2. It's the foot placement. You guys are extra lucky this week because this is one of the skills I can only do on one side. So I'm going to go ahead and actually try my tutorial on myself and see if I can learn it on my opposite side. Alright, so step number 1, you want to use that drop step, and when you do it, you want to make sure that your feet get placed one directly in front of the other. If they get crossed over like this, then it will not work as well because you will get pushed to the side and you will not travel in a straight line. If you're going to be spinning to the right, make sure your left foot is in front, and if you're going to be spinning to the left, make sure your right foot is in front. If you twist to the right, shoulder roll on your left shoulder. And then if you're twisting to the left in your 360 dive roll, you should shoulder roll on your right side. Alright, so moving on to step number 2, what we're going to do is the twist. You're going to do your drop step, and right after you drop step, you're going to jump in the air and 360 to your stomach. Alright, so while you're doing the twist, you want to make sure you're trying to spot the thing that you're about to land on. So as you're twisting around, make sure you look over your shoulder for the thing you're going to land on. Try to put your hands on it before your stomach touches it. Drill this consistently. This is the most important step of the skill. If you're able to spot it, you're going to be able to get it a lot easier than if you're not very good at spotting it and you're guessing every time. The next step is getting off your belly and trying to land on your feet. So pretty much all you want to do is your drop step, your twist, you spot the landing, and then after you put your hands on it, since you're really good at spotting it, instead of going to your stomach, go ahead and put your feet up on the mat. Now the next step is the part where the 360 dive roll and the 360 dive Kong are different. So here's what you're going to do. Here's the last step for the 360 dive Kong. You're going to take it to the floor, take it on with a harder block that you can actually push off pretty well, and you're going to work your way into going all the way over it. The 360 dive roll part of the tutorial, what you need to do is after you have your hands hitting the mat and then your feet right after, just try to push your butt up a little more so that your feet don't touch the mat. You can start by cheating it and only touching with one foot, and then cheating it less and less until you're just doing the actual shoulder roll up onto the block. Here's the last step for the 360 dive roll. It's pretty much the same thing. Go onto harder ground and start doing it with lower and lower mats until you're doing it on the flat ground. Alright, besides what I've already told you, here's some helpful tips. Alright, so one helpful thing is I have this big, nice, soft resi mat to help me out. If you don't have something like that that you could use to practice and learn this with, what you could do is you could use a harder mat, which kind of sucks a little bit if you have to use, but it will work. Or what I personally did is I learned these before I started working in this gym. I actually just used the bed at my house, and I would practice the 360 turn onto my bed. Now, if your parents get mad because you're ruining your bed and you're blaming me and then I get in trouble for it, I'm going to be upset, they're going to be upset, you're going to be upset, everyone's going to be upset. So if your parents are going to get mad at you for doing it on your bed, just do it when they're not home. A really common problem in both of the 360 dive Kong and the 360 dive roll is that you go crooked in them. Now, the main reasons that happens is because either your feet are stepping over and you're leaning to the side because your feet, or I've seen a lot of people also push their chest to the side or push their hips out because they're trying to spot too soon and they're not really focused on making sure they get a good straight takeoff first. My biggest suggestion overall for learning these is drill for like a solid week before you even try the next step. Just drill 360 belly flops and just really focus on the spotting, because as soon as it's easy for you to 360 spin and then spot the mat, everything else is going to become a lot easier. Another helpful tip for the 360 part, if you're really struggling on getting that twist and getting it straight, what you can do... I would be giving a tutorial right now, but there's a dumpster outside making a bunch of a noise. Jeez! This is the loudest dump truck that I've ever heard, and it won't stop for my tutorial. I believe this truck will be gone momentarily. Okay, it's finally gone. I can talk again. Here we go with the tutorial. Oh man, I don't even remember where I was at. Another helpful tip is don't accidentally twist too much into a 720 dive roll because those are a lot harder than 360 dive rolls. If you guys are struggling with a twist, one thing that you can do is you can start facing backwards from your mat and you can try just doing a half turn to your stomach first and then doing a 3/4 turn to your stomach after that and then going for the full turn. So if you're really struggling with the twist, this is a really good drill to help you really start to learn those twists better. Another helpful tip is when you try to take your 360 dive Kong from a mat like this where it's really big and you don't have to worry about where your hands hit to a mat where you have to hit right on the edge in order to get your 360 dive Kong through, is find a friend named Alfred. I have one right here. Let me grab him. This is my friend Alfred. He helps me learn 360 dive Kongs. What you want to do is you want to take your friend named Alfred. You want to draw a circle right there. Draw another circle right about here, and those are your new targets. You're going to try to hit your hands right inside of those circles. That way you have better aim for your 360 dive Kong. So if you just take them, put them right where you want to hit that 360 dive Kong hand placement, back up, and then try your 360 dive Kong. It'll give you much better aim if you can hit them right inside those circles. Oh, I'm sorry, Alfred. I didn't mean it like that, man. I'm sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and play my progression on my bad side because this is my first time learning them, and I think it'll be really helpful for you guys to see what it's going to look like when you try this for the first time. So remember, the key points of getting it cleaner and better once you kind of have the technique down is, first, make sure that you're stepping correctly. Second, make sure that you're not spotting too soon and that your chest isn't turning away from your hips and making your body uneven. And then last, make sure you're not trying to tuck and try to complete the roll too early, because when you do that, it tends to make you even go more crooked. You can see that I'm spotting the ground too soon and is making my chest go uneven with my hips, which is making me go crooked. You want to make sure to try to avoid that, but that just takes practice. The more you practice this, the less crooked you'll go and the more comfortable you'll be with keeping your chest straight and not drifting to the side during these. So don't be afraid to use a mat for a long time and really get it comfortably and really get it good and straight before you take it onto harder ground. All right, I can't think of any more helpful tips, so without further ado, go try it. Don't die. If you do die, don't blame me. If you guys learn this a different way or you have any other helpful tips, comment below so that I can learn from you guys too, because I am a teacher and I love having other drills that help out for things like these. And without anything else to say, yeah, pools are great for holding water.